Good morning. Time for another Take Time Tuesday, and we start by breathing. So breathe in, breathe out. We're halfway through June, and the one thing that I have noticed is we have turned a point where apologists have a voice, and that's always dangerous. And here's what I mean by that. Within any marginalized community, you have people who will look at the majority community and try to emulate them and try to apologize for their behavior and try to be like them in an effort to be overlooked and treated differently than the minority. In the beginnings of the United States, there were certain slaves who thought that if they turned on their community, they would be treated better, and for a while they were, but they were still slaves. In the rise of Nazi Germany, there were Jews who would rat out other Jews, thinking that they would be spared because it wouldn't happen to me, it's going to happen to them, the loud ones, the ones who were the problem makers. But in the end, they all went to the same place. They were all Jews. They were all not worthy of being part of the Nazi party and part of the German nation because they weren't considered Aryan enough. And that still happens today. And in the LGBTQIA plus community, we're seeing a huge rise of primarily white Christian gay men who want to distance themselves from the transgender community, the queer community, because we're not like them. We're conservative. We're very pro-patriotic. And that's bullshit, because it doesn't matter. Being part of the larger community has nothing to do with your political leanings. It has nothing to do with whether you're patriotic or unpatriotic. I'm a gay man. I'm very patriotic towards this country as far as its ideals, not where it is right now. And it is my patriotic duty to stand up and say, this is what I believe in, this is what the country is supposed to be, because that's part of the democracy that is the United States. It's part of the social experiment that we started 250 years ago. So for you to be part of a marginalized community and say, oh, I'm not like them, and to turn away from part of that community is disingenuous. It is ultimately where the rise of the saying, the leopards are going to eat your face, don't be surprised, comes from. Especially in our community, you can't discount any part of it because you don't like them or you don't feel that you're part of them. The civil rights that the LGBT plus community has is founded on the backbone of trans activists. Without them, you wouldn't have the right to marry, the right to pass property, the right to exist in the manner that we do today. The queer community is an artistic expression of transformation that has literally driven art for the last 1,000 or so years in Western society. So you're showing more of your ignorance of the world around you than you are trying to appease a culture that will never accept you no matter what you say anyway. They will use you as a tool, absolutely, to further their own ends. But all you're doing is hurting yourself in the long term. And that hurts everybody, because when you're untrue to your own community, your own needs, and try to sycophant up and elevate up another community by punching down, all you're doing is showing that you don't have the courage to be true to yourself and to stand up for people in need and in trouble. And all that will do is make you one of the first people in line when it's time to go take a shower. Something to think about. Y'all have a good day.